Why do I look like a gay Steve Jobs? Hiya loves, welcome back to my channel! Woo! Yes! So today's video is going to be something, again, a little bit different, which I feel like I say at the beginning of every video that I do, but this one is a little bit different because I'm not going to do a full face. I'm just going to focus on the eyes today. Now, September is here, Queen. She's living her fantasy. That means y'all know that we're dipping into Halloween and autumn season, honey. So time to get your turtlenecks out, get your burgundy jumpers, get your mustards, get all that colour scheme ready to go. Buy some scarves, do whatever you think you need to do for autumn to get ready and feel fabulous. Get yourself an iced coffee. Grab some autumnal palettes and follow along recreating this look with me if you'd like to. Remember, before we continue, to like this video, give that notification bell a little tickety-boo so that you'll be notified every time I make a brand new video. And of course, subscribe to my channel. Make sure you share this with your friends, family, your next door neighbour and their dog, and let's get right to this video. So if you want to stick around and create some fabulous autumnal looks with me, then keep on watching. So if you're interested on how I kind of created this base at the moment before we begin, then go and check out my last video, which is my no makeup look, to find out about all the products that I used. Now, for the eyes. So autumn is a time for your reds, your burgundies, your burnt oranges. Give me some pops of yellow and mustard in there. You could even go straight down the purples, the deep maroons, even like your plum and wine tones as well. Autumn is fabulous. It's also my favourite season. I love the fashion. I love everything about it. I love walking outside on some crunchy leaves. It just makes me feel so cozy and homey. I love it. So, how am I going to do today? I've got my base on already. I'm actually going to do one eye in one kind of autumn style and another eye in another. So it's going to look a bit crazy and pizzazzy. So I'm going to do one eye, which is going to be focusing primarily on the reds and browns and neutral tones. And then the other eye, which is going to be deep plums, purples and wines. I'm going to be playing with two different palettes today, and we're going to be whacking out some ones that I've used on this channel already and ones which I actually just in my everyday life just haven't actually touched in a long time. So the first one is the Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless Fire Palette. It's got all the colours you can ever imagine while thinking about a kind of autumnal, neutral, warm, ready, all those colours. This is perfect. I love this palette. I'm going to dip into this a lot more this season, I believe. I haven't touched it all summertime, which is a bit shocking, so make the most of this. And the second palette is one which I have not used in a long time. It's just been sitting at the bottom of my collection because it's quite a large palette and all of my other palettes just stack on top of it, but it is the Morphe X James Charles palette. In this kind of top section here, the best kind of tones for autumn. So I'm going to be playing a lot with these, probably, I don't know, I just don't know how to mix and match. There's so many to choose from. But yes, before we begin, I'm going to prime my eyelids. I'm going to do one at a time. I really wanted to try the e.l.f. Putty Primer for your eyelids. They've got like an eye base now, and it's basically a dupe of the kind of MAC paint pots. However, I went online, my local Superdrugs don't have it, I went online and they don't have the shape that I need. So I haven't been able to get those. So we're gonna go back in with the trusted old MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly. You can tell I've had it for a while because the writing's rubbing off. And what I'm going to use to buff it on is this little Morphe brush right here. It is designed for concealer, I believe. However, I've been using it recently for my eye base and it's so soft, delicate, fluffy that I absolutely love it. And I brought that all the way to just under my brow here because I might buff out the eyeshadow quite a lot today. Is that going to be too close? Is that going to be too close? Am I going to move and it's going to be out of focus all the time? Okay, so I'm ready to get stuck in. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a really fluffy brush. I'm going to go into the James Charles Morphe palette. I'm going to use these two shades to kind of start to carve, just to kind of buff out the crease a little bit so I've got some transition before I start going in with some bright couleurs. Keeping with the Morphe theme, I'm going in with a lovely fluffy Morphe brush. I'm going to bring that all the way to just under my brow. I'm now going to take a small little fluffy dome brush. I know it's got a little bit of colour on, but oh well. And this is from Revolution. So they did a few mini sets. I believe there's like 3 or 4 different gold brushes. Yeah, and they came in a little set and they're quite cute. They're still fluffy enough to give a lovely, nice blend, but they're also small enough for you to kind of get really in there. I'm going to go in with this bright orange shade here. And I'm going to pack it into the crease and slowly buff. And taking that same fluffy brush as before, with no extra product on it, I'm just going to kind of buff the edges. So on a fluffy brush again, but one that's slightly thinner, I'm going to go into this shade just next to the orange. It's a tiny, tiniest bit shimmery, like the minuscule amount, but it's this gorgeous kind of reddish tone here. The more I think about it, this is quite an orangey red, a little bit deep, and it's good to kind of use to just deepen the socket slightly without losing the orange undertone. Then using that same brush again as before that had the orange on, I'm just going to use that to diffuse the outside as well. Now to deepen everything up a little bit more. Back to the palette. But I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is a red undertone brown, and it's a little bit deep, and then go even deeper with this huge one here, which again is quite cool tone. It's got like a more of a maroony burgundy undertone to it as well. It's all going to be fabulous. And I'm going to create a kind of halo eye structure, and you'll see. So I'm taking a slightly pointier brush. It's a domed brush, but it's got a nice tapered tip to it. Just to kind of put in the inner corners and outer, and then buff that into this kind of gorgeous circular motion. Now in that larger, deeper brown, I'm just going to use that to pack on the inner and outer corners. Once you've done that, repeat the whole thing on the bottom row. Amazing. So now I'm going to cut the crease into this kind of central halo eye. And to cut the crease, I'm going to go in with the Revolution Radiance Concealer with hyaluronic acid. Taking it on this kind of small flat brush here. The label's worn off, so I don't actually know where I got this from, but it's a great brush. And I'm going to start cutting the crease. Back in with the Morphe James Charles palette, and I'm going to go with a various amount of different shimmers. I'm going to start from the outer corners moving inwards, and what I'm going to kind of do is start with this kind of deepish reddish shade here on the outers, going with this kind of little peachy pinky shimmer here, and then all the way to this blinding light gold shade right in. And now for the other eye. Now let's go over to the Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless Eyeshadow Palette in Fire. Whoa! And this one's going to be great because I'm going to really focus on the kind of burgundy colours here. I want to kind of create a dark, smoky eye building outwards and just really focus on the kind of plums, burgundies and maroons really. So it's going to be fabulous. So let's get cracking. So the first shade that I'm going to go in with is this shade here, which is called Volcanic. Taking that on a Morphe M139, which is really, really fluffy. I'm going to buff that in all over the lid in a nice circular motion. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Burn, which is this kind of deep brown, just deepen the socket lines before going in with Inferno, which is such a burgundy wine colour. It's fabulous. Now, a fluffy pack brush like this. This is from Kryolan, and this is in the number 1707. It's really good for just packing on colours really. So pigmented, I love it. So I'm going to go into that shade Inferno now and try and cover the majority of the lid. Don't mind if I don't get it as close to the eyelash line as possible because I'm going to go with the black shade later anyway. Go back in with a bit of Burn and Volcanic. I'm just going to buff the edges out slightly. Now on a Morphe M506, I'm going to add some of the black shade called Coal right on the waterline and tightline it really basically. Dipping into Burn and Volcanic, I'm going to go underneath my lash line and do my under eye to kind of tie the eyes together. I'm going to zoom you out. Amazing. Right, okay, cool. So I'm going to deepen this up a little bit more. I believe I might have mentioned this in a previous video actually. It's honestly amazing. But it is the MAC eyeliner pencil in Smolder. So I'm going to pop this in my waterline, rub it into my lash line, buff it out a little bit, and then that eye is almost done as well. Time for liner. So for eyeliner, I'm going to be going in with the two House Laboratories liquid eye liners. The black eyeliner is called Punk, and it is a matte finish. And then the brown eyeliner is called Whiskey, and that is a demi-matte. So it leaves a tiny little bit of a shine. I'm going to do a nice winged liner with the Punk on the dark smoky. So with this, I'm going to start by just pressing the liner on the outside, and then I can drag and sweep it in. And on this kind of red neutral eye, I'm just going to tight line with this. So with the tight line, you want to get as close to the lash line as possible. You don't necessarily have to wing it out. See, I've done a nice small cat wing, but this is great because now I can buff in some more of the black shade Coal from the Revolution Forever Flawless palette, and then it'll all be nice and fabulous. So I went ahead and lined my lash line actually with Max Mulder as well on both eyes because I felt like I needed a bit more depth. In terms of lips, I went in with a face liner from Kryolan, which are really good soft texture, they're gorgeous, and this is in the number 34. And then I kind of buffed on with a product from Colourpop. This is the only Colourpop item I own at the moment. This is the Colourpop Luxe Gloss. This is in the shade Slow Motion. It's gorgeous and it smells so delicious. And for once in a lifetime, I've actually popped some false lashes on. I went in with some lashes from Eyelaw, which are a great brand. They do the best. They're up there with like the best kind of lashes for like day and night type thing. If it's not drag lashes, this is a great brand to go towards. And I went in with the number 152. It's like thin and light, not too voluminous, and it's, yeah, just looks quite natural. Well, as natural as false lashes can be. So yeah, this is the look. Two different eyes, got a more of a kind of pull-upy smoky wine and a gorgeous kind of neutral reddy orange. Thanks very much for watching this, guys. I know it's a little bit different, focusing just on the eyes, but if you did love this video, please, please, please give it a thumbs up, hit the notification bell like I said, and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, guys, bye loves.